Only success, only victory, and only the best players. He could find the secret of victory, especially because his team was in the Guinness Book of World Records for sports achievements. He was a legendary coach, one whose heart was in his job. The documentary film To Win It All tells the story of Ihor Turchyn, the legendary coach of the Spartak women's handball club.
Смотрит долго и сердечно, ну а если я женат, осторожно, осторожно, едет киевский Спартак, осторожно, осторожно, мы Спартак.
His name is world known. Ihor Turchyn created the professional Spartak women's handball club from new players. The team became a phenomenon of worldwide sports. The eminent coach and his disciples won every possible victory and title locally and overseas.
Мы делали фильм по законам жанра игрового.
We made our film using the rules of the game. Our main goal was to make an emotional film that made the audience laugh and then cry. And it appears that after several screenings, we can say that this result was achieved. Tomasz Polski made the documentary film To Win It All with his own script. This film focuses on Turchyn's skill at winning, and the director's choice to tell this particular story wasn't accidental. I started my project in the 1990s when I worked as a TV journalist and met the amazing Ihor Turchyn and Halina Zakharova and Ludmila Boris. These are great women. I shot short pieces for TV, but I continued dreaming of a big film. This is only the director's third documentary, but this is his debut in the realm of sports films, as he is mostly involved in feature films. Nevertheless, he didn't feel challenged because the film script had already been written in his mind. I do not believe that there is a difference between feature and documentary films. No difference. Documentary films, as such, don't exist. To tell you the truth, there's always calculating, there's always design, and sometimes being forced to remove duplication. While the director does not separate feature from documentary movies, director of photography Taras Shapoval considers the documentary genre to be very specific. Documentary has its specific features. It's necessary to anticipate, to be in the right place. It's impossible to explain, to tell. One just needs to feel it. Otherwise, a moment can be lost forever. Actually, you have to love what you do. It doesn't matter what you do, it's not important. You have to do it with great love, and this approach will help you somehow any task, any problem. By creating his film following the rules of sports, the director and his crew began painting a picture generally as a comedy with jokes and humor, and all of it led to the final when tragedy struck and the audience wept. We managed to evoke tears, but those tears only happened because of laughter, which was in the first part of the film. So it was designed, built, done deliberately, written in the script. Everything you see in this film was shot according to a pre-written script. The film starts with the team losing a match. The women are in tears, but then comes the coaching mantra for all life. We will win it all, because Turchyn was an all-or-nothing person and hated to lose. Every filming day brought team members closer to heroes, to their families, and to their favorite thing, sports. This was the most special part of the documentary. It was alive, unpredictable, and full of unexpected twists, just like real life.
Goal! Мяч в воротах.
Everyone talked about what they remembered. We dealt with some inconsistencies between people's stories and reality, like in Bucharest. Each retelling affects how something is remembered. Halina Zakharova is one of Turchyn's first disciples. She started at 13 years old and became a merited master of sports, an Olympic champion, and an 8-fold European Cup champion. The film also highlights her life.
У меня с этим фильмом, ну понимаете, как это не возврат назад. Это я прожила по новой свою жизнь.
I have in this film, you understand, it's not like going back. Rather, I've lived a new life, and even now I can't speak without emotion because there aren't people like him, because we were unique, because he trained so many, probably more than 3,000. He cultivated the love of handball in many girls. The film was shot in Kyiv, Bulgaria, and in Bucharest, Romania. We completed our work in Kamenets-Podilsky, where he'd studied and started his sports career. Turchyn's disciples believe the documentary shows only a small piece from the master's life, because there is no more titled sportsman in Ukraine than Turchyn. It's important to make films and to talk about those people who themselves are examples of the kind of person who glorifies Ukraine and who serves as a model for younger generations.
Якщо вони програють або навіть зіграють в нічию, шанс виграти бронзу в чемпіонаті України буде втрачено. Спартак Київ займе лише 4-те місце.
Трудно все розкрити в этом фільмі.
It's difficult. It's hard to cover everything in this film. This is a good version. It shows the youth and in the middle the star team, but in very little time. 52 minutes? It's simply not possible. There's a whole life to be considered. Many people who are familiar with Turchyn shared their feelings and personal stories about him. Yes, the entire film is built on the emotions of the living. The climax of the film was a tragic event, the death of Ihor Turchyn. It happened on November 7th, 1993, during a break in the match between the team Rapid and Spartak at the European Champion Club Cup in Bucharest.
Вы знаете, я всегда вспоминаю наш дом.
You know, I always remember our home. Give me a few napkins. In this film, I played a not very happy role and told how the coach died. In Bucharest, the filmmakers invited some who had witnessed that match, the second coach, 2 Ukrainian and 2 Romanian athletes. They told the story of what happened at the competition. It was filmed on the same field, in the same locker room where Turchyn died. 23 years later, we visited Bucharest. It was like when we played that match, that tragic match. We went there with the film crew and entered the locker room where Turchyn died. We could not hold back our emotions. It seems like so much time had passed. He was standing before us, like this, and then said, "Girl, I feel bad. Girl, I'm dying." They stopped the game and said on the microphone that it was interrupted due to technical problems. The film features amateur footage of that fateful match. There's also a tape with recordings of Turchyn's voice. In it, he makes comments and observations about the athlete. The most valuable thing, according to the film's writer, is fragments of the memorial game held after the coach's death. Spartak was losing to the Romanian team in the last game. As soon as the tragedy occurred, during the break, the game was canceled. In the rematch, the Ukrainian team won. Actually, this is a movie about how he died in order to win the game.
И мы все-таки выиграли игру. И вот именно доказали этот спартаковский дух. Мы играли в честь тренера.
According to the film's executive producer, the emotions in the movie were genuine and sincere because the film was shot exactly where the events took place. And it didn't matter how much of the material was useful enough to make it into the final version.
В документальном кино, но оно живет другой жизнью. Оно начинает, вот как только стартуешь со съемками.
Documentaries live a different life. When you get started shooting a documentary, you never know what will happen tomorrow, because your world becomes the one in which the film lives. So you lose track of events, because it's like a self-driving process.
Мое мнение, Дмитрий Томашпольский, он показал характер тренера.
In my opinion, Dmytro Tomaszpolski showed the character of a coach. That is, he didn't like to lose. In every situation, he showed that he needed to win. Even in life, never to give up. He taught us, and all those who played and practiced, the will to win. No other options, only victory. The film is about handball, about love, and about victory, as the film director says. The film is also about how to win everything and to die. Returning from the international competition in 1993, the team carried the coach's body on the bus. They had to pay customs officers a block of Marlboro cigarettes to take his coffin across the border.
Это поразительная история. Я, собственно говоря, из-за этого и начал снимать этот фильм.
This was an amazing story. In fact, it was the main reason why I started shooting this film. I wanted to show you how you can live a meaningful life and win it all. Because Ihor Turchyn brought Ukraine every possible victory and achievement at the Olympic Games, at World Championships, and at the European Champion Club Cups. He won 20 championships for this country. It was an unbelievable success. Yet his body was delivered home for the cost of a block of Marlboro cigarettes and buried without honors.
Тебя за блок Мальборо перевозят домой и хоронят без почестей.
Throughout the whole eventful and emotional story, there were people who knew Turchyn closely, who loved and adored him as a coach and as a person. They confessed that it was hard emotionally when this film debuted in the cinemas. Ihor Turchyn is the club's leader and the best handball player in the 20th century. She's also Turchyn's widow, and she agrees.
Но трудности — это вот та хроника, вот те моменты, когда мы опять пережили все это, когда 7 ноября не стало Игоря.
The most difficult thing was to re-experience November 7th, the day Ihor passed away. Of course we felt like we were suffocating, like crying. Even in my daughter's interview, when she talks, I could see it there. These moments are difficult. Everything else is just our lives.
Как это было. Поэтому вот эти моменты сложные. А все остальное — это наша жизнь. Ну что, для полной пары!
Years later, Ihor Turchyn continues to carry on her husband's legacy. She trains and works with a lot of young athletes. But most important, she said, was to bring Ukrainian handball back up to the standards of the world level, as it had been in Turchyn's lifetime, as it was remembered in Europe. Of course they remember. I recently came back from a forum in Vienna dedicated to the 25th anniversary of European Handball Federation. They wished me a happy birthday, and they also wished Ihor a happy birthday. It would have been his 80th. The film director showed the continuity of generations linking the past with the future. No wonder that the current young Spartak players, as well as those who attended the film premiere, feel pride and a desire to win. Ihor Turchyn was recognized as the best coach in the world. Now his star team has won another victory, this time at the largest international festival of sports, TV, and movies. In 2016, the Ukrainian documentary film To Win It All was a finalist and became one of the best films in the world dedicated to sports. It was their victory in Milan. I think that young people will find it fun to watch this chronicle. It's necessary to watch. Without the past, there is no future. And that's what Dima and his team did. It was very healthy.
Без прошлого нет будущего, понимаете? Поэтому то, что делает Дима и его команда, это, конечно, это очень здорово.
На вопрос всегда очень простой ответ существует.
There's a simple answer to the question how to make a documentary. It must have very interesting people. And if people are interesting, there's nothing else needed. And don't bother them. We really were dealing with very interesting people. After all, each character in this film has lived a life to the point of becoming a star, something people in our country or even abroad have never dreamed of. This is the life story of a coach who created a legend, and the story of the team that became legend. Even the film, To Win It All, according to critics, demonstrated the unique winning technique invented by the great coach, Ihor Turchyn.